Hey YouTube, Brian LCS. Thanks for stopping by the channel and this video, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 5 review. So let's take a look at the creative team, Cody Ziegler writer, Federico Vintini on the art. Now we're going to get into full spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you may want to tune away. So let's take a look at the kind of synopsis from this story arc. Miles' life as Spider-Man is a constant battle. Supervillains, schoolwork, balancing a personal life with his responsibilities as a hero, son, brother. But every time he fails, Miles rises stronger than before. Until now, pressure is mounting. He's got his clock cleaned by Scorpion, ran afoul by Agent Gaio's anti-vigilante task force, and was suspended from school. To make matters worse, a mysterious new villain called Rabble somehow knows Spider-Man's secret identity. She's captured Starling and Ganke to lure Miles into his devastating trap. But then there was only the first step in her revenge. Now Rabble attacks Miles' family, and Spider-Man may be too late to save them. So let's jump in. And so we pick up right where last issue left off. Miles is at his house or his apartment. He sees an apartment on fire, and Rabble is at him with her drones. And Miles is just like, "Look, I've had enough. No more playing nice guy." And so he takes some of the drones and smacks them around and throws them back at Rabble and gets into his apartment and finds his family. And obviously they are so glad to see him. And then Miles scoops them up and makes a break for it out of the burning apartment. And we get this nice splash page here, almost homage to Amazing Fantasy 15. And Miles gets the family out of the the burning apartment, but he's still got Rabble to deal with. And so we see the drone still attacking, and we see Rabble say, he's going to take out the family, and Miles is not having any of it. And we actually see that Miles, in his, I wouldn't call it rage, but in his attempt to save his family, he comes up with a new, what we think is a new power set here. Basically, his Venom Strike, he creates it into a energy sword and knocks Rabble back and saves his mom and dad and sister. And then we cut to Starling and Ganke and Misty Knight, who have been Misty Knight is trying to save Starling and Ganke, who have been captured by Rabble in her hideout, I guess you want to call it. And then we see that she still has some of her drones, Scorpion tech, and the team is able to defeat it and get out of the way. But the gadgets continue to come at them, and so Misty Knight and Ganke and Starling, like I said, work together to take out the technology here and save themselves. And then we cut back to the fight between Rabble and Miles, and there's some back and forth, and Miles is trying to reason with Rabble a little bit and just say, "Hey, look, I apologize for everything that's gone on in your life, but it doesn't mean you need to try to take out my family." And so they continue to battle back and forth, really taking a toll on each Rabble and on Miles. Because they're really kind of going at it here, beating each other up pretty bad. And again, Miles is trying to reason with her and just say, "Look, I apologize, I'm sorry, but you don't need to seek revenge on me because of the things that have happened within the system." And Rabble's not having any of it, and again goes back at Miles, and they just continue to trade punches and jabs. And then finally we see Miles kind of take her out with using one of the drones and his Venom Strike, or this new Venom sword webbing, and basically creates a big kind of explosion between the two and sends her flying. And then in flies Starling, and we see Misty Knight and Ganke And it looks like Rabble has been, defeated. And so Miles is pretty beaten up and actually passes out. And when he comes to, he's at home. He's been, or not at home because the home was destroyed in the fire. He's at some other location, and we see his family around him, and he's just overwhelmed. That they're okay. Leaps out, gives them a big hug, and then in walks Misty Knight, and Misty Knight has brokered an apartment here for them somewhere, a place for them to stay because of their previous apartment being destroyed by Rabble. And then she also, basically says that she's taking, Miles under her wing, and that she's going to, he's going to be basically like interning with her. Then we cut back to, Rabble, because we don't know what happened to her. She kind of just, as the dust settled, she was, gone. And now we see her and the Scorpion. And the Scorpion says, I'm always interested in new job opportunities. So it looks like we haven't seen the last of Rabble. And that's how this story wraps up. And so this is really the end of the Rabble story arc for now. We're going to get into a different story arc with Miles, so some carnage. And I believe this is the first time that Miles and Carnage will meet up. And so interesting to see how that unfolds. But, overall, this has been a very good start to this series. I really enjoy Cody Ziegler's writing. He did a few issues of Amazing Spider-Man on Volume 5, and I really enjoyed his work. I was hoping that he might become the full-time writer on Amazing Spider-Man, but here he is on Miles and doing a really good job. Overall, this story is pretty simple, right? We've got a new villain, hell-bent on revenge, coming after Miles, and Miles has a lot of things he's dealing with in his personal life, being a superhero. Very familiar, reminiscent of early Peter Parker days, as a young hero trying to find his footing and learn how to deal with everything. So I really enjoyed this series so far because of that, because maybe it feels very familiar to the early start of Peter Parker. But thinking about my review system, the 5 webheads, I'm going to go with a solid 4 for this end of the story arc. Again, it's been a fun read, not too complicated, kind of a straightforward story. But we're seeing this young hero kind of deal with all of these things that are being thrown at him. So, like I said, I'll go with 4. Let me know what you think. Have you been reading this? What do you think of this initial story arc? I was at first I was like, this is just kind of a revenge story, but sometimes, keeping it simple is not a bad thing. When you overcomplicate the story, I think it can be convoluted and then maybe, lose something. So sometimes simple is, keep it simple, stupid, right? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If you're reading this, if not, just leave me a comment, say hello. Always appreciate everybody stopping by and checking out my reviews. We'll see you soon for Amazing Spider-Man number 24. Thanks for watching.